We welcome you to Minute Maid Park on a rainy Monday, Labor Day. A little afternoon contest for you as the Houston Astros continue this 10-game homestand. They'll play the Minnesota Twins in the first of three, currently leading the A's by 2.5 games. 4 weeks, 25 games to go in the season. We haven't seen the Twins since all the way back in April. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. As you can see, we have our AT Strong, Houston Strong patches all weekend long, or all week long here, as we remember the 1-year anniversary of Harvey. The players will be wearing their Houston Strong patches as well. Blummer, Minnesota in town. This is a team that has not done very well this year. A little disappointing for them. Can't have any lulls this time of the year.
No, absolutely not. They actually salvaged that series against the Angels, taking 2 out of 4. But this is a must-win. You hate to say must-win, but this is a must-win against a team who's not playing very well.
You said salvage. That's a good way to put it, because they lost the first 2 games of the series and came back for the next 2.
Yeah, we saw the offense come alive a little bit. Tyler White's really been a mainstay in that lineup, doing great things for A.J. Hinch. It's been a lot of extra base hits and damage done late in that game. But Saturday, that 7-3 win, because of what the great White Shark did late in that ball game, was awfully nice. But last night, we didn't have a chance to cover that. It was covered by ESPN, but it was another great outing for Garrett Cole. I love the fact that he went out there and threw a ton of pitches at 113, but 71 of them were fastballs. The Angels are a very good fastball hitting team, but he created 16 swings and misses with that fastball. And then we saw a couple of guys come alive. George Springer, namely, Alex Bregman doing what A. Breg has been doing all season long. But if we can get that bat and George Springer going, it's going to be a fun rest of the season.
Yeah, Astros needed that one, as the A's also took 2 out of 4 in their series against the Seattle Mariners. Dallas Keuchel on the mound has been very good since mid-June.
Yeah, he's been very good, getting back to doing Dallas Keuchel type things. I think it'll be great for him to go out here and face this lineup. We've seen him be very good with the sinking. The two-seam fastball running down and away has been great. Sets up that changeup and the occasional 4-seam in. Should be Dallas Keuchel's afternoon here.
One of the stars of the game last night, George Springer. More on the Astros leadoff hitter as Julian Morales joins us after the break.
and the Astros will look to their leadoff hitter, George Springer, who likes facing the Twins. 7 career home runs against Minnesota. And speaking of Springer dingers, we saw one last night as he got his 20th home run in the win over the Angels. He's our TXU power player. That's 3 straight seasons now that George has had 20 or more bombs. But it's been good to see him here lately, dealing with some injuries over the month of August, a couple of them. His last 9, he's put up some pretty good numbers. It's been an up and down season, but this is a good sign for him maybe to get things going. We've been watching his ABs. I know Jeff Blum has been watching his ABs and saw some of the swings he took last night. Blummer, I know you're going to call the game later, but first, can we get your take on what you saw from George last night?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It's been a rough stretch for George Springer since coming off the DL. I know that left hand has created some issues for him. And anytime you're trying to use your hands and swing a bat, you're going to be a little tentative. And I think so, hopefully some of that tentativeness is going away for George Springer, especially after what we saw last night. But a couple things about the swing. It's been that the hands were actually in a very good spot last night. You're going to see them get back and get loaded, but they're going to stay there also. As soon as he gets that foot down, you're going to see that front hip open up a little bit and go towards the Angels dugout. And sometimes losing that lower half will create your hands drifting a little bit, but he kept them back in a good position. And he got the off-speed pitch from Ohtani, was able to get the barrel out in front of home plate and create that great launch angle. And obviously the strength of George Springer shows up when he does things like that, because he doesn't need the lower half. He is strong enough to muscle it and get the ball out of the ballpark. And hopefully that feeling and just that sensation as a hitter will hopefully get him on the right track.
Now, I was going to follow up with that. He's going to play through some things for the rest of the season, as they all are. But what can success in a night like last night with the 3 hits do for George?
It's amazing. And just a couple of balls falling in the outfield grass, visually what that does to the hitter is says, oh my gosh, there are hits out there. And that does a lot for you mentally. Hopefully helps him relax a little bit. But he's got to understand that he is strong enough and talented enough to trust those hands. And hopefully last night is a sign of things to come.
Thank you so much, Blummer. Enjoy the game. Have a good call. Those guys will join you next for first pitch right here at Minute Maid Park. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Astros. We'll be back.
No fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. A lot of fans made it through some heavy raindrops and storms to get here to Minute Maid Park. We welcome you in on this Labor Day 2018. Happy Labor Day. Hope you are enjoying your afternoon either with us here or Wherever your plans may be the rest of the day, glad you could join us for this first game of 3 for the Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros. And here's how Paul Molitor will line up his Twins today, as they have just come off back-to-back losses to the Rangers and lost 7 out of 9 overall. Joe Mauer, second all-time in hits in Twins history, leads off, followed by Logan Forsythe. Jorge Polanco, the shortstop. Mitch Garver behind the plate hits fourth. Robbie Grossman in left field. Miguel Sano is a third baseman. Jake Cave, one of the 2 lefties, along with Mauer in the lineup. Tyler Austin DHs, and Johnny Field in right field.
Dallas Keuchel on the mound for your Houston Astros. He has been very good since June 16th. On the season, he has 28 starts. He has a 10-10 record, racking up the innings pitched, getting closer to that 200 mark that he talks so much about. Opponent batting average at 257. He also has 18 quality starts of those 28 starts.
Quick turnaround for the Astros. A long game last night, and a day game following a Sunday night game as we get ready for the Astros and Twins for the first time since April. And there's a called strike to start this series. Astros winning 2 out of 3 against the A's, splitting the 4-game series against the Angels. So 4-3 on this 10-game homestand with 3 more to go. Just 25 games left. 12 at home, 13 on the road, and the Astros with that 2.5-game lead. A's have the Yankees in town for 3, so hopefully with these matchups, Astros versus Twins, A's versus Yankees, the Astros could head out of town with more than a 2.5-game lead. Dallas didn't realize he had it in his glove, and he still makes the play, but Mauer is just safe. That was a very close play. Nick Marley, the first base umpire, had a tough call right away.
Actually pretty impressed too that Dallas even got a glove this. I thought it was past him and Marwin was going to make the play. But we know the defensive prowess of Dallas Keuchel. Here it is on our Mattress Firm Supermo, in the glove, out of the glove. He thought it had popped up when in reality it was on the ground. It's a bad feeling.
He had no idea that ball was in the webbing of his glove. Well, Mauer, a little infield hit. AJ will not challenge that. Here's Logan Forsythe. His combined numbers between the Dodgers and the Twins. He's been much better since coming over to the American League. A 31-hit month of August for Logan. Batting .313 with the Twins. He was involved in that Brian Dozier deal right before the trade deadline. Battle of Razorbacks. These 2 guys know each other very well. Logan's had some good success against Dallas in his career. 7 for 20. And it's 3-0. Laz Diaz behind the plate in this game. All 4. Dallas loses Forsythe. The Twins have the first 2 runners on in this game. Here's the defense behind Dallas today, with George Springer patrolling center field. He is flanked by Tony Kemp in left and Josh Reddick in right. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa on the left side. Marwin Gonzalez a start at second base. Jose Altuve with a day off. Altuve DH'd yesterday. Yuli Gurriel at first, and Brian McCann his second game back off the DL. Here's Jorge Polanco. Dallas continues to miss just a little bit low. It's 1-0. Polanco's switch hitter has been better as a left-hand hitter throughout his career, but this year the numbers are a little bit more dramatic. Just 186 overall right-handed, 270 overall as he sends this one into right center field. On comes the right fielder, Reddick, and he makes a sliding catch, cutting in front of George Springer for the first out.
It was not an easy play. This would be a good idea of how that ball was moving. It was kind of diving, and Josh Reddick almost overran it with the way the spin came off the bat. Does a good job staying with it, seeing the ball all the way into the glove, and then a pretty good tumbling act and keeping the ball in the glove. It's a nice dismount.
That ball carried a little further than he realized.
Yeah, because I think originally he was planning on laying out to his right and backhanding that, but eventually had to almost basket catch that in front of him.
Here's Mitch Garver batting cleanup for the second time in his career. Garver, the catcher for the Twins. They think the catcher of the future. And Dallas starts him off with a fastball for a strike. Garver this year against left-hand pitchers, 193, 1 home run and 83 at bats. Dallas ahead 0-2.
Good changeup from Dallas Keuchel. On our MD Anderson strike zone, you can see the location pretty much perfect.
Twins start the day 10 games under 500. 63 and 73. They have been trailing Cleveland by double figures in games for a while now. They're 14 games back to start today's play. But they are in second place in that division. It has been a tough year for the AL Central. The Cleveland Indians right now have the 5th best record of the 5 teams that would qualify for the postseason. Yet they have the biggest lead of any division and will probably be the first team to clinch with a 14-game lead. The Red Sox with the next biggest lead in the major leagues at 7.5. On the ground, slowly hit. Correa will flip for 1, and Garver able to beat the return throw.
Yuli going out to get that. Does look like Garver gets that foot on the base before the catch. Good effort by Yuli, though. And again, that soft contact is great for Dallas Keuchel, but if that ball's hit a little bit harder, that's an easy double play.
Just hit too softly, allowing Garver to get down the line. So Forsythe is forced out, and here is the former Astro, Robbie Grossman. Grossman was here in 2013, 14, and 15. Grew up here in Houston, went to Cy-Fair High School, and he is batting at first and third, and 2 outs in the first inning. Robbie coming in batting .259, has been better as a right-hand hitter at .305. Dallas making start number 29 on the season. Pitched against Minnesota back in April on the 10th at Target Field. That start didn't go as well for Dallas as he would like. 4 innings, 4 walks, 101 pitches, 6 hits and 3 runs. That was back-to-back starts where he walked 4. Very unusual, but as we showed you right before the game started, he has been much better lately. A stretch that has started back in mid-June. One thing you know with Grossman is he's not going to leave the zone very often. It's now 3-1.
That's one of the things that made him very appealing here for the Astros management, is that he was very selective, good strike zone command. high on base percentage guy.
Upstairs, ball 4, and the Twins will have the bases loaded.
Early on, this is what we were used to seeing the first couple of months of watching Dallas Keuchel, was early issues, a lot of traffic in those first innings for Dallas Keuchel. Still has an opportunity to work out of this without damage.
2 first-inning walks for Dallas, has not walked more than 2 since the start against the White Sox back on July 8th. Here's Miguel Sano. Sano takes one down a little bit. Dallas would have liked to have that be a strike. As Diaz may be hearing from the Astros dugout a little bit too. It's 1-0. Sano has spent time at the big league level and also was sent down to the minors for a while as he grounds one towards third. Alex will race to the bag ahead of the runner Garber, and that'll do it for the Twins. First inning, a couple of walks and an infield hit. Today looks like this. George Springer will lead things off, followed by Tony Kemp, who moves up to the 2 spot. No Jose Altuve today. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa stay 3-4. Marwin plays second and bats 5th. Yuli Gurriel bats 6th. Brian McCann catches and bats 7th. Evan Gattis getting his first start in a week, DHing and batting 8th. And Josh Reddick will hit in the 9th spot today.
Kyle Gibson, right-hander, going for the Minnesota Twins. 27 starts this season. That record under 500 at 7-11. 164 innings pitched, 153 strikeouts. His last 4 starts on the road have not been very good. He is 1-3 in those last 4 with a 5.73 ERA.
So Gibson will face George Springer, who had a nice game last night. We showed you some of those swings a moment ago. Hitting one into the Crawford boxes and just short. First pitch swinging down the line, deep to right field. Long run for Field, and it's just foul. Home run distance, but it's sliced foul. Springer bidding for back-to-back games with a home run.
That would have been huge, not only for George Springer, but for me. Just seeing the balance in this swing is so much better. Leg kick, hands are back, the head's not moving that much, and he let it travel and stayed on his feet. I know that sounds crazy because he is on his feet most of the time, but the balance was that much better with that swing. His front side stayed through it, and you really felt like the momentum of the swing was going towards right field.
That ball just drifted foul as it got towards the wall. George getting his 20th home run of the season last night. Added a double and a base hit. Leads the American League with 6 leadoff home runs and just missed number 7. It counts now 1-1. Gibson, back on the 11th of April, faced the Astros at Target Field and was knocked out in the 5th inning after allowing 7 hits and 5 runs. Walked 4, struck out 4. This year the strikeout total has been the highest of his career. He's never been a big strikeout guy, but this year striking out 8.4 per 9 innings. Slowly hit towards short. Polanco is there. Springer retired for the first out.
Some of the pitch usage and getting to know Kyle Gibson. 57% of the time you're going to see that fastball. The batting average against is 290. He does have good spin. That slider is very good for him and effective 21% of the time, at that batting average at 161. Evenly split between curveball and changeup after that, but primarily that fastball slider.
The slider is its big strikeout pitch as he faces Tony Kemp. Kemp around the bunt, takes a pitch for a strike. Tony batting in the 2nd spot today. AJ has liked him in that 9 spot as he turns over the lineup and giving him a chance at the top. Sometimes he's had Reddick up there, but today Reddick in the 9 spot, and Tony hit 2nd with Altuve getting the day off.
StatCast AI, powered by AWS, shows you where Tony is putting the ball in play. A lot of them have been back up the middle recently, but you can see why they're shifting a little bit to that pull side.
He showed bunt on the first pitch. Sano's in tight, but he's also over off the line a little bit. Tony thinking if he could get that bunt down the line, it might be a tough play for the big third baseman.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Crowd still filling in on this Labor Day Monday. It's been a very tough day weather-wise. A lot of Labor Day outdoor plans were scrapped today. There have been huge crowds throughout this 10-game homestand. Gibson misses 3-2. Walks have been an issue for Gibson. He has had 10 walks issued his last 3 starts and 15 in his 5 starts in August. This one towards short. And Polanco makes the play for the 2nd out.
The shiner spotlight falls on Alex Bregman. In this homestand, he's been swinging the bat extremely well. 444 batting average, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Getting back in the swing of things and trying to garner some of that MVP attention across the league. Looking to finish this month of September strong, and it starts here with this homestand for the Houston Astros. He's also got some limbo skills.
Yeah, new one last night. Tony Kemp was the limbo bar. And Alex made sure he added a little flair to his home run celebration last night. Alex reaching in 30 consecutive games, 1 shy of his career high, and his career high was earlier this year. That is what has started a stretch of 90 out of 92 games that he has been on base. A remarkable run since the middle of May. Currently 6th in the American League in OPS. I'd say right now you put the 2 Red Sox, JD Martinez and Mookie Betts. You put the 2 Indians, Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. You throw in the OPS leader in the major leagues, Mike Trout. And Alex is somewhere in that mix, maybe not at the top of that list, but he deserves, at least in the final month, if he continues to play like this, to be considered. That ball's driven deep to left field, and that ball is gone. He's done it again. Alex Bregman, home run number 28, and the Astros lead 1-0.
Alex Bregman is trying to do something this season that the Astros haven't seen in a very long time, and that's 30 home runs, 50 doubles, and drive in 100. Those are just incredible numbers, and Alex continuing to rate. The simplicity and power of his swing is a lot of fun to watch. And now we get to see what happens.
Curling! We've introduced curling to the home run celebrations.
Well played, boys. Well played.
At Bregman's pace, they better start
coming up very creative.
They start coming up with a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
The sweepers were Jake and Tony Kemp for Alex Bregman as the curling stone.
It's basically turned into the touchdown celebration for these guys.
Yeah.
It's choreographed. It's in the dugout. What I like is it's in the dugout. It's not even showing disrespect to the other team. It's just these guys having a good time together when success happens.
Yesterday was the limbo. Today curling. Correa down to the count 0-2. Carlos was on base yesterday 3 times with walks. Yeah, I love it. It's almost like, all right, what's next? What else can we come up with? Down, it's 1-2 on Carlos. During the national telecast yesterday, we were mentioning that they talked to Altuve about how Bregman was the guy that carried this team while Altuve, Springer, and Correa were hurt, and Altuve corrected them and said, no, he's carried the team when we've been healthy. He has just carried the team, period. On the ground towards third, Sano on a couple of hops. But the Astros on the board early with Alex Bregman.
With an absolute seed into those left field seats. Hanging slider on a line, 106 miles an hour off the bat, putting the Astros up 1-0.
Entered the game. Marwin Gonzalez has left. Tyler White's the new first baseman, and Yuli Gurriel, who started the game at first, will now move over and play second. Not sure what happened with Marwin, but he has been battling a little bit of tendonitis in that knee lately.
Yeah, you just hope that maybe it's barking a little bit, day game after a night game, and he needs a little bit more rest. But in the process of him starting this game at second base, now Altuve's out, Marwin's out, forcing Yuli to second base. Hopefully nothing major.
Dallas faced 6 batters in the first inning, and now he'll face Jake Cave, one of the 2 lefties in the lineup. Cave, a 25-year-old who's had a chance to play on a regular basis in center field since Byron Buxton was sent down. And Buxton was one of the surprising omissions when the Twins decided to make their September call-ups. One of, if not the best defensive outfielder in the game. Will will not get any games at the big league level in September this year. Part of that was responding to injuries. Part of that was not hitting well, and a lot of speculation that part of that is to service time as well. But Buxton will not be with the Twins. AJ came up tomorrow and said, "How you feeling?"
Marwin's getting ready to hit. I don't know. There's obviously a lot more going on in there than we can speculate on.
Man, that one was unusual. Because you're right, he's putting the batting gloves on and ready to go into the on-deck circle. He would have been due up after Correa. But out of the game now, so we'll see what report we get from the clubhouse. 2-2 the count. And a called third strike. Jake Cave goes down looking. Dallas picks up his first strikeout of the game.
We've got a pitching performance for you, and it's brought to you by Kubota. Dallas Keuchel in his last 5 starts against the American League Central should be pretty good. Those teams in that division have been struggling a little bit, but it's also been a combination of Dallas Keuchel being locked in for the last couple of months. 3-0 record of .87 ERA. Yeah, that's a 0 in front of that 8.7, which is very good for Dallas Keuchel. And if he gets comfortable with that sinker changeup combination today, it should be another good outing for Dallas.
Seems like that's the combo that's been effective for him. Changeup's been a little more prevalent. The cutter a little less prevalent. Here's Tyler Austin. Combined numbers between the Yankees and the Twins. Tyler fouls one back. It's 1-1. 80th birthday. How about that?
Nice.
A lot of people in attendance to celebrate birthday number 80.
That's awesome. You know you're going good when your friends get t-shirts made for you.
Fouled away. It's 1-2. A lot of new faces on the Twins than we saw back in April. This is one of them. We've seen Tyler Austin with the Yankees for parts of the last 3 seasons. Logan Forsythe we saw last year in the World Series, now a member of the Twins. The next hitter, Johnny Field, we saw earlier this season on a different team with Tampa Bay. So guys getting a chance here with Minnesota Twins in the final month or so to see if they're part of the future. This is a season where Minnesota felt they had a shot to get back to the postseason again, and it's been a disappointing year. Part of that, you know, falls on the Miguel Sano's and Byron Buxton not quite performing the way they want, and part of it falls to injury, and it was definitely a step back this year for the Twins. As Diaz is ready to go.
Always.
He has a lot of energy.
Yes, he does.
Counts full on Tyler Austin.
Dallas having a tough time controlling the fade on that changeup.
Dallas walked 2 in the first inning, allowed an infield hit. This one towards the right side. Yuli had the shift on the other side. Had a long way to go to make that play. The Astros take on the Twins with the AL West Championship in sight. Tickets for tomorrow and Wednesday are as low as $9. Visit Astros.com for info to get your seats today. How about that? It's only 12 more home games, including today. So if you can get a home game for $9, Sounds like a deal.
Would be for my family, a 16.
Here's Johnny Field taking a strike. And it's Dollar Dog hot dogs.
Oh,
that's a bargain day all the way around.
Wait, lying. I'm calling my wife.
Here's a 20. Go have a field day. Oh, one pitch is fouled away. 0-2. Mentioned Field started the year in Tampa Bay. His major league debut was back on April the 14th. Twins picked him up on waivers. And he chops one towards Pregame. Play by Alex. And Dallas a strikeout and a couple of groundouts. A 1-2-3 second.
We reveal the origins of the Players Weekend nicknames, and Justin Verlander gets charged $1 million for lunch in LA. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show, only on AT Sportsnet. TK.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
A lot of additional celebrations now.
I see that.
It's gotten very creative, Julia.
I like where it's going.
Yeah, it's going places. Here's Tyler White. White takes a called strike.
Oh boy.
We're getting a report from the Astros clubhouse.
I'm just going to say it's his right oblique, and then everybody else can insert the next word.
3-syllable.
Yep.
Beginning with this. Outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Discomfort of the right oblique for Marwin Gonzalez. He is out of the game. Tyler gets his first AB. Another late inning hit for Tyler White last night. White with a double in the 7th inning. And there you go. Just testing that right side out a little bit. And did not feel great, and why take a chance, especially when you've got a guy like Tyler White who can come in off the bench. White fouls one back.
Yeah, luckily there's some options for AJ Hinch. So obliques can be messy. That's what led to some of the back issues that Carlos Correa had later in the season, put him on the DL. And Marwin, coming off that month of August, you don't want to see him on the shelf at all.
303 in August with 8 home runs and 20 runs batted in. White reaches out and pokes one into right field. Tyler White just off the bench, got an inning at first base, and Ends up with a base hit in his first AB.
Just touch it.
That's the way things are going for that guy right now.
Absolutely. Putting together good ABs. He's looking to try and drive to that pull side, but every once in a while you got to take the knocks when you can, going the other way. And this one off the outside corner. Just lays the bat out there and drop shot knock.
And Kyle Gibson threw that pitch exactly where he wanted to.
Yeah, that's all he can do. It's Altuve-esque when you hit him that far off the plate.
Here's Yuli. Yuli coming in batting .275. He is 1 for 17 in this homestand. That .275 mark we haven't seen from Yuli in a while. It's the lowest it's been since May 23rd. One and one to count. Good take. It's 2-1. Kyle Gibson, 30-year-old right-hander. Start number 28 on the year. And Yuli lays off that slider away. It's 3-1. 7th start against the Astros in his career. 3rd here at Minute Maid Park. Overall 3-1 with a 3.74 against Houston coming in. Catches the inside corner. The count's full.
I feel like home plate early on, it just kind of shifted a little bit. That outside corner to right-handed hitters doesn't have the same kind of edge that the inside corner does. Yuli had to spin on that one because of the previous pitch call. And a good move by Gibson and Garver to get together and try and get a little bit further in on the hands of Yuli.
Tyler on the move and a ground ball towards short, and it eats up the shortstop Polanco into the outfield. A break for the Astros on what could have been a possible double play ground ball. Instead, it's 1st and 3rd.
Yeah, that's kind of big. Seen so many of these ground balls turn into double plays, but with Tyler White on the move trying to stay out of the double play, turns into getting an extra 90 feet on the air.
I think they would have had Tyler. I think that would have potentially been a double play. Yuli's already hit into 22, and last year Kyle Gibson was 3rd in the AL, inducing 26 double plays. But instead, the error allows 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and Brian McCann at the plate. McCann takes one down and in.
Real opportunity for the Astros to take advantage of a mistake. McCann should be up there with nobody on base and 2 outs.
Brian, 2 hits against Gibson in his career and 9 at bats, but one of those 2 a home run. He's the only Astro coming into this game with a home run against Gibson. Now Bregman part of that club. 2-0. Saw McCann his first game off the DL hit a sacrifice fly.
It's a good number. That's really an issue the Astros had. basically 2013, 14, and 15. Was driving that runner in from third, less than 2 outs, and they're becoming highly efficient. And they create so many opportunities too.
3-0. Even though he didn't have a hit that first game back, you kind of liked the swings you saw from McCann, right?
I did. He was getting on the legs, and that's something that we really didn't see early on from Brian McCann because he was kind of nursing that right knee issue. And he even said himself that he couldn't really get the weight of his swing going into the front side and hitting against it because that right knee couldn't take it.
3-0 green light and misses the fastball. 3-1.
And if you can't get the weight onto the front side, you're not going to have as big a load. But right now we're seeing him getting the hands back. We're starting to see him drive. He just missed that sac fly you were talking about. It was almost a home run.
You know, AJ likes to swing too. 3-0 green light. McCann chops one foul. Gibson back into a full count after being down 3-0.
There's a little bit of this swing, and watch the front side. You want to see that front side kind of stiffen up a little bit as he gets to contact. And there he does, and that back foot you can see coming off the ground a little bit, and that tells you that he is feeling pretty comfortable and strong on that right side.
Said he hasn't felt this good in 3 years.
Wow, that long.
Knee's been barking at him for all the way back to the time he was with the Yankees. Rips one down the right field line. Fair ball. White will score. Ewing digging for third. He will be held there. Brian McCann, an RBI single, and the Astros lead 2-0.
Nice swing by Brian. Pulled the hands in nicely. We showed you that foul ball where Gibson got in on the hands in a 3-1 count. But this one he does a better job, and it's a better pitch to hit. But you can see that knob of the bat coming in nicely. A little bit of lag on that barrel until he gets to contact and then rifles it down that right field line. I think his days of going 180 feet on rockets to right field might be gone, but highly effective when he's driving in runs.
Long-time catchers. Mauer's been playing first base the last few years, but getting reacquainted at first base, and now here's Evan Gattis. Gattis' first start since 1 week ago today. It's been hard to find him a spot in the lineup the way Tyler White's been going. Evan's still second on the team with 24 home runs.
Breaking ball has been a real issue for Evan Gattis this season. But if there have been mistakes left up out over the plate, he has hammered them.
Evans also still second on the team in RBIs with 71. RBI opportunity here. Chopper towards third. Sano plays to second for a one and a double play. A run will score. No RBI for Gattis, but it's 3-0 Astros.
How about that? You get the double play, but something positive did come out of it.
There you go.
And again, it all goes back to that error by Polanco earlier in this inning.
Yeah, that's a 2-run inning that really is probably a shutdown inning for Gibson if Polanco makes that play. I'll bring up Josh Reddick with the bases clear. Reddick's reached in 12 straight games a .354 on base percentage during that time. First pitch swing, sends one into shallow center. Cave coming on, and he'll make the play for the final out. 2-run score on a couple of hits and an error.
Sportsnet SW. Today we ask, assuming Justin Verlander is your #1 playoff starter, go ahead and set the rest of the Astros playoff rotation. This is a fun exercise. You want Cole, Morton, Cole, then Keuchel, Keuchel, then Cole. How do you want those righties, lefties to go? Have some fun with that. We'll reveal the winner of the Chevy Show poll later in the broadcast. And speaking of Charlie Morton, guys, he was placed on the DL here recently. It was Thursday with the right shoulder discomfort. The hope was that he would only miss one start, and it's still trending that way. Playing catch today, that makes back-to-back days that he was out there throwing. The hope is that he'll throw a bullpen over the next 2 days, and if that goes well, we will see him back on the mound at Fenway Park Saturday against the Boston Red Sox. If it doesn't go well, guys, though, they do have Josh James. Maybe give Charlie Morton a few extra days. We could see James make that second career start if that's the case. TK.
Yeah, good option to have. Charlie Morton, they thought it would be a short amount of time away, and it very well could be if he gets that start against the Red Sox on Saturday. And if not, you've got a guy who threw 3 pitches 100 miles an hour or more in his first big league start. Joe Mauer laces one back through the middle. Mauer has both hits for the Twins today. That one was legit. The first one, Dallas, a 3-time Gold Glover, had the ball in his glove, just didn't realize it.
Josh James, to what TK was talking about, one bad pitch in that ball game was a home run pitch to Cole Calhoun, but we saw a little bit of a wrinkle mixed in there. The high velocity is there. Just a matter of containing some of that enthusiasm that he had in that first start, because he was ramped up early on.
Like 9 strikeouts in that first big league outing. Julia?
I finally got a chance to meet Josh James today, and I asked him if he's come down to earth, you know, from the adrenaline rush and all that goes around it. He says a little bit. Now it feels a little more like my job in reality, but it was a fun couple of days here for him with all that excitement. Didn't like giving up that home run. He definitely quickly told me that, so he's already looking forward to his next opportunity.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, he was 1 pitch away from having 5 shutout innings as Forsythe loops one the other way foul. It was 2-2 on Cole Calhoun with 2 outs in that start. And then he missed on a 2-2 changeup, and a 3-2 pitch. Calhoun hit over the wall in right field, and he missed location on that fastball. That's not a bad guy to sit next to during an in-between start game.
Yeah, do the same thing. Chew gum, blow bubbles, throw hard, get some strikeouts.
Justin looks to the left. I look to the left.
Solid move. Come on, point.
Dallas ahead of Logan 0-2 and takes one upstairs. Forsythe walked his first time up. As much as the Twins missed the home run pop that they got out of Brian Dozier at second base, Forsythe's been a guy who's been on base for them, but he strikes out here. Dallas picks up his second strikeout, and there's one away in the third. Here's Jorge Polanco lined out to right field. It was a nice play by Josh Reddick to retire him his first time up. One thing AJ said before the game is when you play a team like Minnesota, who has got a lot of young players, and they have struggled this year for the most part at 10 games under 500, it was even more important to try and get an early lead. Try and take some of that enthusiasm away from this team. If they get ahead early, all of a sudden they feel a little bit better about themselves. The last couple of games have not been going well for the Twins. They lost yesterday to the Rangers 18-4, and losing the previous game 7-4. Dallas missing outside is 3-0.
Just got word they gave up 12 home runs in their last 4 games. Yikes.
They're both
tough to defend that.
Their bullpen's given up more home runs than any other pen in baseball. The Astros contributed to some of those bullpen woes last year for Minnesota. Ryan Presley very happy to be part of the Astros bullpen now. in the air, left center field, converging Kemp and Springer. It'll be George who takes command. And that's 2 away. Quad does not seem to be bothering George at all lately. That's a good sign. George was mic'd up yesterday for the national broadcast during the game. Entertaining as always. Here's Mitch Garver with 2 outs and a runner on first.
Yeah, George is so good. It's so positive that he's able to rag on guys and make it sound like fun.
Correa makes the play and Garver retired. After an opening hit, Dallas retires the next 3.
These Astros know how to have a good time. It kind of gives you a good idea of the relationship between manager and player, too. They were able to have some fun with the manager while he's on headset. I figure that AJ already has Dallas's autograph.
Dallas got a lot of airtime. He brought Lance into the mix, and then Justin was paddling on by. And how about that home run celebration?
I just like the creativity of those home run celebrations because it seems like everybody is involved. It's a great thing.
It's great. Every day is a new celebration. We went from the Pregame individual stare to the team stare, and now we're getting themes going. Yesterday was limbo. Today was curling. See if Alex can get another celebration going this inning. It'll be George Springer, Tony Kemp, and Alex Bregman this inning. Astros scoring 2 unearned runs against Kyle Gibson last inning, lead at 3-0. George grounded out to short his first time up. Coming in batting .300 on the nose since coming off the DL in 11 games. And a .364 on base percentage.
Good take by George. Last 9 games, 11 for 32. And it's interesting that middle down to middle in have been very good for George. But if you pitch it up in the zone or out off the plate a little bit, he has been having a tough time. And I think a lot of that is due to the fact of what I talked about earlier with Julia, is that front hip seems to be flying a little bit open for George, which takes away that outside corner. I believe Julia has a little bit more on that.
Yeah, well, AJ said about him today, so timing's not quite there yet. But he mentioned, not just with George, but Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, some of these guys who've been dealing with some of the injuries. He's seen that cautious approach with them. He said letting go is the next step.
Watch the front hip. This is that last check swing. Front hip's gone. That outside corner down and away is tough to cover.
Rule to swing is 2-2. try to hold up again, and he goes around again. Oh, Gibson picks up his first strikeout. One away in the third.
And again, we're not picking on George. It's just some of the things mechanically that you can see is that front hip is going to go this way, which opens up this portion. When the body is going away from that side of the plate, it opens up that slider down and away where he's having a tough time trying to cover it. If he just kept that front hip closed a little bit longer, trusted those hands, he'd be able to stay on that pitch and maybe shoot it back up the middle.
The guests in the booth yesterday had trouble with that telestrator.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is. This thing is phenomenal. Or maybe it's not the tool.
Tony Kemp with a 1-0 count. Slowly hit towards second. Forsythe is there. And there's 2 away. Alex Rodriguez struggled with the telestrator yesterday. He also lost a bet to Alex Bregman. He and Bregman had a little wager on the University of Miami LSU game that was won by the Tigers. Breg also won a little wager with his former bench coach Alex Cora. That will get paid off when Bregman is in Boston. Cora is going to have to wear an LSU jersey, and Bregman was going to have to wear the University of Miami turnover chain if LSU lost.
Knowing Alex, he would have turned it into a home run challenge. Some way to work that into the home run dugout celebration.
Breg with a home run his first time up to 28 on the year, bidding for that first 30 home run season and first 100 RBI season. Already been a career season for Alex, but he continues to add to these totals. Now at 28 and 89 in the home run RBI department and 93 runs scored. Two and one to count. Well, Molitor looking on. They have a lot of players on their active roster now with September call-ups. An 11-man bullpen, and they're going to go with an opening pitcher tomorrow to be determined. Seems to be more of a trend around the league these days.
Look back at that Alex Bregman AB where he did hit that home run. Fastball away, take it for a strike. Not something he thinks he can drive. Then Gibson gets on that slider a little bit, yanking a couple out of the zone. And with Alex taking some of those pitches outside the zone, forces the pitcher back in the zone with the fastball, and he hammers it. That ball was smoked on a line, 20-degree launch angle, and enough velocity to get it out of here.
And he draws a walk. He won't leave the zone either.
Yeah, and he didn't want to challenge him right there. He said, forget it. I'm not going to give up another home run to this guy if I have to throw a fastball in the zone.
That is a lot of respect with Carlos Correa on deck. He's not challengeable on 3-1. Here is Correa, who grounded out his first time up. Carlos' 22nd game back from the DL. Last 3 games have seen him go 3 for 8 with 4 walks. And Gibson ahead 0-2. % of the strikeouts for Gibson this year. had been on that slider. He has 153 coming in. Alex may have been leaning a little bit.
Oh, maybe more than a little bit.
One's yanked wide. It's 2-2. Astros play the Twins in this series, then on the road to Boston and Detroit. They only have 2 more series with teams in their own division. And that's in the next homestand when they take on Seattle and the Angels. 6 more games within the AL West. Pregame on the move. Ground ball, Sano knocks it down, stays with it, and retires Correa for the final out. A walk, 1 man left on base.
RV 1 year later. During this season, fans will have a chance to get a Stay Strong t-shirt for only $10. 100% of the proceeds benefit the Astros Foundation. Visit astros.com/HoustonStrong for more details.
On we go to the 4th inning. Dallas Keuchel working with a 3-0 lead, facing Robbie Grossman. Grossman walked his first time up. Dallas so far has allowed 2 hits, 2 walks. He has struck out a couple. Both hits allowed have been to Joe Mauer. Mauer is really the only Minnesota Twin that hits the ball hard at all against Dallas.
I would imagine Dallas has got to be tough, much like I found Tom Glavine tough when I was a younger player. Younger players want to go out and hunt that fastball, get on those pitches early, but Dallas is very patient, knows his strengths, stays down in the zone, living on the edges. Sometimes you can get strikes by guys because they're just not anticipating you being that close to the edge like Dallas is consistently, or you get those guys that kind of reach and get too aggressive and create some of that soft contact like you've been talking about today for Dallas Keuchel.
This ball is drilled to deep left center field. Springer looking up, and this ball bounces against the fence. Grossman heading to second. He'll have a leadoff double for the Twins in the 4th. This series against the Twins, also we remember the anniversary of Hurricane Harvey and the recovery involved. And along with the players this series, we're wearing our Ache Strong patches here.
Yeah, appreciate Carl Snyder down there in the Astros clubhouse when I go down there and vulture some of these things off him. But this seemed worthy enough to go down there and get and become a part of these guys a little bit because it affected everybody. And we felt a lot of that pain in remembrance of a tough time that really brought a city and a ball club together.
Yeah, 1 year ago. Julia, what do you have for us?
Well, you know, that saying Houston Strong will forever be a part of the 2017 season for these guys and what they were playing for down the stretch. But here, as we all wear it 1 year later, it's just a really good reminder for the team that, you know, the city and the people around may have recovered, but it's a process, and there are a lot of people still in need right now. And even AJ said, you know, life moves really quickly. Everyone kind of moves on, but the more attention we can bring to those who are still trying to get back on their feet is very important to them.
No doubt about it. Well said by you and the sentiments of AJ Hinch. It is a never-ending process for some people that are still not quite back to where they were prior to Hurricane Harvey. So continue to remember those people. And what a moment it was 1 year ago, or a little bit more than that now. Miguel Sano with a 1-1 count. AJ said he'd never been more nervous in his life than addressing the crowd here in the first game back against the Mets after Hurricane Harvey.
That's completely understandable. He's used to talking baseball and approaching those kinds of matters. That was a matter of community.
A lot of emotions in that series against the Mets. 3 games in 2 days. Friday was a day that both the Astros and the Mets, to their credit, went around the community and were helping out.
Well, I felt it was different in this situation too. Yeah, you know, the Texans season was starting to ramp up, but they left town. Baseball was really the only thing going on and the only thing available to fans while Hurricane Harvey happened.
Dallas catches the inside edge against Miguel Sano and strikes him out. 3rd strikeout for Dallas.
There's that inside corner, a little bit bigger edge on that side of the plate than on the other for Laz Diaz tonight, but a beautiful pitch.
And that's something that hitters are going to recognize, right? As they talk to each other?
Yeah, you're going to sit there and say, hey, you know what? The outside edge, we don't have to worry so much about trying to cover that. It's that inside corner where the umpire is starting to call some of those pitches.
And it's interesting because Laz was set up right there over the pitch, and he has given it against a couple of Astro hitters, George Springer being one, and now Sano getting one just off the inside edge as well.
Yeah, and you'll ask a lot of these guys, even the pitchers and the hitters, just be consistent.
J.K. bats. He struck out his first time up. Cave made his big league debut on May 19th, 25-year-old. Cave getting a chance to play every day this season. We'll see how it plays out next year. They still anticipate Byron Buxton to be their center fielder in the future. They got Max Kepler in right field and Eddie Rosario in left field. The Twins have been battling with Rosario on a quad injury lately.
It's interesting how those situations work out on teams that are out of it, and they have that month of September to basically have open auditions at the major league level. It's not too often you see number 60 battling number 60. That is September baseball in a nutshell right there.
Cave lays off this pitch inside. It's 3-1. Dallas was not going to be thrilled with his strike to ball ratio right now. 61 pitches in, 35 strikes, 26 balls.
Yeah, it hasn't been as tight a cluster as we're accustomed to, too.
Three and two.
Got away with missing his spot right there.
Get a little more arm side run maybe than some other games.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially that last pitch. You can see McCann setting up on that outside corner, but that ball just tailing to the arm side and inside to left-handed hitters. But also that changeup. We've seen some of those changeups start on the outside edge and really fade off into that box.
That one tapped towards second. Yuli is there. Cave retired for the second out. On the play, Grossman moves to third.
Got some defensive rankings for you, brought to you by GMC. This has been an outfield alignment we've seen quite a bit. Tony Kemp getting the start out there in left field. Really the only guy I think that you will see. Gene Glenn, the third base coach for the Minnesota Twins, challenge. George Springer, Josh Reddick, both those guys do things that Preston Wilson has talked about. They attack the baseball. They shorten that ground in between themselves and the base they're throwing to quickly, and they have strong, accurate arms. But Tony Kemp, a second baseman, moving to the outfield, I think they want to test that arm a little bit.
Shot foul at the plate. Now, if they were giving defensive rankings for flying catches, Kemp would be way up on it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I see an outfielder leave his feet more than this guy, Tony Kemp. The acrobatic plays he makes. He almost made a dive and a roll catch the other night. Austin grounded out his first time up.
That's one thing. It's a common theme in the outfield for A.J. Hinch and the guys he puts out there. Athletic and disregard for their physical well-being.
That's a good point. Because none of those three guys out there now care about their bodies when it comes to getting it out. They just go all out to try and help out their pitcher. Saw Reddick make a fine tumbling catch back in the first inning, robbing Jorge Polanco. That was a big time in the game. Here's a high fly ball to left field. Tony Kemp is there. He won't have to fly through the air to catch this one as he puts it away for the final out. Through 3.5, Astros up 3-0.
Gonzalez leaving the game. A.J. Hinch trying to stay away from Jose Altuve, as today was a planned day off for him. Kind of a perfect day for him to have the day off after a late game last night with a quick turnaround. But A.J.'s been looking for a day that he could just give Altuve a breath of fresh air, be able to refresh it and get ready for the rest of the season. Really, if you think about it, he missed a significant amount of time with that right knee soreness and then came back, played in 12 straight games from there, and things have been going well for Altuve, but it is a good opportunity for them to rest those legs and get him going for the rest of September. TK.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You want to have Altuve strong down the stretch, and I think yesterday the DH day followed by a day off is a really nice break for him.
No, but like Julius said, even though he's coming off the DL with, that knee injury, sometimes that brain can take a little bit of a beating this deep into a season. And even as great as Altuve is, just being able to sit there and talk about baseball and not actually put your mind in that batter's box does wonders.
And we've seen Altuve in the last few games, quite frankly, not be his normal self at the plate.
No, I'm with you. It truly is a grind, and you kind of forget it when you're watching a guy like Jose Altuve put up the 200 hit seasons, or the Carlos Correa's putting up 35 home runs, or George doing what he does, and you forget the fact that this game is very hard. And when you're not going well, the opposing teams recognize it and they exploit those weaknesses, and we're seeing that right now.
Altuve lined out his first at bat last night, but he's now in an 0 for 11. He has not had a hit in his last 3 games. Tyler White batting with a 2-2 count. You've got the AL MVP and the ALCS MVP having a little discussion. Josh James' seat has been taken by the MVP.
Yeah, that conversation might as well be astrophysics, the way they talk about pitching and hitting. Or it could be about that $1 million tab.
White sends one high and deep to left field, but it's playable. Cave, the center fielder, will make the play in front of the track for the first out. The Astros road ahead is driven by the Montron RV. We'll have some Thursday day offs coming up. After this series, it'll be a day off before the team heads to Boston. Then coming out of that road trip, it'll be a day off before the final homestand of the year, a 9-gamer with the Diamondbacks, Mariners, and Angels in town. And then the final road trip of the year, 3 with Toronto and 4 with the Baltimore Orioles. 25 games remaining on the season. Yuli drives one deep to left field. And the Astros lead 4-0 on Yuli's 9th home run of the year.
Te amo la piña.
Good to see Yuli crush one to left. It has been a little bit of a struggle for him in this homestand. 1 for 18 prior to that bomb.
That was a good one to get a hold of.
Yuli's 9th home run, 65 RBIs. Here's Brian McCann. McCann a single and an RBI his first time up. Pregame making sure the hair looks good. Alex hit his home run 369 feet. Yuli beat him by a foot. Yuli hits one 370.
He just spun on that one.
Yuli had 18 home runs last year. Not going to get to that total this year. He's got 9 now. And that one was well struck. McCann goes down swinging for out number 2.
Back to Yuli's home run. Usually a good slider pitcher. Actually, that might have been the curveball that we don't see too often from Kyle Gibson, hanging up out of the plate. And that's Yuli just spinning on that axis, creating that torque to drive it out of those Crawford boxes. That was nicely done.
Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis grounded into a double play his first time up. Run scored on the double play to give the Astros a 3-0 lead. McCann with an RBI. Yuli with an RBI. 3 of the 4 runs scored have come from the bottom part of the lineup.
Back to the home run from Yuli. A little bit of StatCast action for it. We gave Alex Bregman the treatment. Why not La Piña? 95.4 miles an hour off the bat. A little bit higher launch angle, creating that loft. 370 feet later.
Pulled on the ground. The shortstop Polanco is there. And Evans is retired for the final out. So the Astros tag another run to their lead. It's 4-0.
How about a dynamic duo as far as pitchers are concerned? Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, first duo with 240-plus strikeouts each since 2001. Last done by Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood in that Chicago Cubs rotation in the early 2000s. These guys are dialing it up. Garrett Cole leading the American League with 243 strikeouts.
Yeah, those guys go back and forth every start. Verlander will take the lead. Keuchel will get it back, or excuse me, Cole will get it back. Verlander regains the lead. Cole gets it back.
Somebody's going to go in there and negotiate for the last start of the season.
Right. Well, they're both combined going to shatter the most strikeouts by a duo in Astros history. Nolan Ryan, Mike Scott combo currently on the board for the top 2 all time, but the Verlander Cole duo should surpass those 2 seasons. Garrett picked up 9 strikeouts last night in 5 2/3. Guy's never struck out more than 1 per inning before this year, and now he might lead the league in strikeouts.
Kind of makes you wonder, has this stuff always been in there?
And just a different philosophy allowed him to let that fastball eat this year.
Yeah, but was the attack plan that drastically different to create a guy that is going to go out there and potentially lead the American League in strikeouts? I mean, he moved from a league where there was a pitcher hitting in the lineup. Now he's in the American League facing 9 legitimate hitters every day.
Right. Right. Your strikeouts, if everything else is equal, should be higher in the National League.
Yeah.
Johnny Field strikes out. Dallas has 4 of them and starts off the 5th with a strikeout. Obviously, and we've touched upon this plenty of times, but the Astros like that 2-seam fastball a little more. A fastball that maybe the ball was put in play more and induce some more ground ball outs. And the Astros said, let that 4-seamer eat. He has had a 200 strikeout season, but it came in a year where he had 208 innings and he struck out 202. The 1 year he had a strikeout per inning was back in 14 when he struck out 138 in 138 innings. But this year those numbers off the charts. Verlander will probably retake the lead, and that next start Justin will pitch tomorrow against the Twins. Here's Joe Mauer. He's the one guy that has been able to solve Dallas Keuchel today. Robbie Grossman hit a double to the wall in center, but other than Grossman, Mauer with the other 2 hits. See, tomorrow night we'll be on the air at 6:30 for Justin Verlander's 30th start of the season. Mentioned 25 games remaining, so everybody should get 5 more starts. That could change if AJ is able to build in extra days off to keep his arms fresh down the stretch. But right now, with a 2.5 game lead, you might not have that same maneuverability you had last year. Called strike, it's 2-2. And those two guys really creating some distance, Verlander and Cole, from the next closest in strikeouts, because both Chris Sale and Trevor Bauer have been on the DL. Sale sitting at 219, Bauer at 214, and Verlander at 240, and Cole 243. Slowly hit past Dallas, but Yuli is there, and he makes the play to retire Joe Mauer for out number 2. Join the Astros at Minute Maid Park tomorrow as they take on the Twins and recognize first responders. 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a First Responders Challenge coin presented by Lyondell Basell. For info and tickets, visit astros.com/promotions. Two outs, base is empty, and Logan Forsythe will bat. He has walked and struck out. Hearing that Sale and Price are close to returning to the Red Sox rotation, we may see them over the weekend. Red Sox saying more than likely they will pitch at some point in that homestand, whether it's against the Astros or in that next series. Price was hit on the wrist with a line drive, and Sale has spent a couple of stints on the DL recently. Boston leading their game in Atlanta today 3-1. Red Sox have hit their only, I don't even know if you want to call it a rough patch, but their only stretch of games all year where they've been playing about 500 now for a week and a half or so. In the air to right field, Dallas with a strong 1-2-3 inning. He's retired 9 of the last 10, and we are halfway home with the Astros leading 4-0. Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. By Rooms to Go, where you get great style and quality, all of the lowest prices on every item every day. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. Josh Reddick leading things off. Reddick flying out to center field his first time up. It'll be Reddick then the top of the order. Josh batting ninth for just the third time in his Astros career. Second time this year, once last year. It's a deep lineup when Josh Reddick is batting ninth. Reddick tries a hold up, and he does. It's 2-1. Kyle Gibson's allowed 2 earned runs, 2 unearned runs, a total of 4. The earned runs on solo home runs by Alex Bregman and Yuli Gurriel. Josh, who has reached in 12 consecutive games, has a count of 3-1 to start the bottom half of the 5th. Mentioned walks have been problematic for Gibson. He has had 8 consecutive starts with at least 2 walks allowed in all 8 of them. He has walked just 1 so far in this game. Reddick reaches out and sends one to left field, where Grossman makes the play for out number 1. Back to the top of the order for George Springer, looking for his first hit. George joining Alex Bregman and Evan Gattis in the 20 home run club this season. Sends this one to second. Forsythe is there. And George is 0 for 3. That's out number 2. Here's Tony Kemp. Astros lead on the A's recently, and they were tied for a few games. Has always involved a half game. They have played different amount of games. The Astros 1 fewer than the A's. That will be a half game separating them in some form all the way until a week from today, when the Astros have a game in Detroit and the A's have a day off. Both have mutual days off on Thursday as Kemp tries to bunt, and Forsythe, the glove flip. Nice play by Forsythe for the final out of the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Gibson.
Who am I? If it's high, let it fly. National League wins leader. Twin conclusion. If you know who that Astro is, make sure you go to ATT Sportsnet SW and tweet them. Let them know your answer, and we will get back to you later in this broadcast and see if you are correct.
On we go to the 6th. Dallas Keuchel and the Astros leading 4-0. They'll face Jorge Polanco. 3, 4, and 5 hitters this inning for the Twins. And Dallas misses upstairs. Dallas so far 3 hits allowed. A couple of singles and a double by Robbie Grossman. Struck out 4 and walked 2. Those 2 walks came back in the first inning. Behind Polanco 2-0. Twins arriving last night after losing 3 out of 4 in Arlington. Overall, they've lost 3 out of 4 and 7 out of 9. On the ground to Correa. One shortstop retires the other. Polanco 0 for 3 today. First out of the 6th inning.
That AB gave you a good idea of some of the aggressiveness. A 2-0 count, just really good sinker from Dallas Keuchel, and Polanco went out there and rolled it over.
Yeah, aggressive hitters feed right into Dallas Keuchel.
Absolutely. Does a good job of keeping them off balance.
Here's Garver 0 for 2. But we showed you earlier about Dallas versus the AL Central. That string of 5 games started with his second outing against Cleveland on the road on May 25th. Includes a couple of outings against the Royals, also the White Sox and the Tigers in that mix. And he is trying to continue that solid number against the Minnesota Twins, and so far so good today. He's ahead of Garver 0-2. Ball in the left field for a base hit. Garver has the Twins' 4th hit of the game.
Some of the pitch usage on Dallas Keuchel in his first 14 starts. A couple of numbers that really jump out to me are the cutter usage is really going down, but that changeup usage going way up. It's been a very effective pitch for him. I think he's found himself with enough confidence with that four-seam fastball to get in on right-handed hitters, not having to cut that fastball. And then this afternoon we see a lot of fastballs and that changeup now at 16 that he's thrown, and that cutter just at 2.
A lot of 2-seam fastballs today against these Twins. Well, since that stretch of 14 starts beginning in mid-June where Dallas has been rolling along with a 2.74 ERA, he has just been pitching the contact. I mean, he's never been a big strikeout guy, but in none of those 14 starts does he have more strikeouts than innings pitched. And his high was a 7-strikeout game against the Rangers in 7 innings. But he's getting the weak contact. He's getting a lot of ground ball outs. Nothing new for Dallas. But he's also making better quality pitches, and what was a struggle for him prior to the middle of June has now turned around.
No, I think that is exactly what has been great about Dallas Keuchel, is the quality of pitch that he is making.
That last one was a good example. At the knees, on the edge. Maybe in that first half he was getting a little too much of the plate or elevating a little more than he wanted to.
Well, I think early in the season we talked about it, is he was trying to create outs with pitches instead of pitching to his strengths.
Another slowly hit ground ball. Correa has to hustle and throws it wide. White will track it down, but Garver will move from second to third. Robbie Grossman hit it slowly towards short, so slowly that Carlos Correa knew he had to hurry and threw it wide.
Yeah, that's a tough play, but that is Dallas Keuchel making his pitch, and Grossman just finding a soft spot in the defense. Carlos Correa doing everything he can on the short hop, and in rushing the throw, airmails it. Luckily, it stays in play, not allowing Grossman to advance another 90 feet.
That was fortunate there. Keeps the double play in order here with one out. They're going to give him an error the whole way and not give Grossman a hit on that play. It would have been an error either way to allow the runner to go to third. It looked like Grossman may have been able to beat the throw. Here's Sano. He singles into right field, and the shutout is over. The Twins get their first run on the board as Miguel Sano drives in his 41st run of the year. It's now a 4-1 game.
And that ball not exactly ripped into right field, kind of off the end of the bat of Sano. Sounded like he broke that bat off the end.
Now the lefty Jake Cave will bat. Cave is struck out and grounded out and takes a strike. Dallas ahead 0-2. Astros get bullpen action going for the first time with Dallas at 92 pitches. Colin McHugh warming up. Astros last night using Roberto Osuna, Tony Sipp, and Joe Smith for the second straight game. Swing and a miss. Cave goes down. Second time he has been out on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Dallas.
Cave's had some uncomfortable ABs against Dallas Keuchel. Again, well located, great execution on that pitch.
So here's Tyler Austin with 2 outs and 2 on. And Brian McCann going out to talk with Dallas. Haven't seen these two guys linked up in a while. McCann and Keuchel, the starting battery for the opening day last year for the Astros. And Laz Diaz says that is a visit. Missed the edge. It's 1-0.
This game would be going that much better for Dallas if he was actually getting those calls right there.
Austin is grounded out and flied out. Takes one in off the plate, and it's 2-0.
imagine Austin has the green light right here, even in a 3-0 count. Just because he knows with a couple of runners on, Dallas has to come into that strike zone. Doesn't want to give this AB away.
15 home runs on the year, and he takes a strike as 3-1.
Oh, that was such a good pitch to swing at, too. Fastball count, center cut. Dallas can play a little bit now. He doesn't have to throw that pitch right down the middle. He can kind of get on the edge a little bit, hopefully with that two-seam run or maybe a changeup. Like he tried to cut that one a little bit.
Yeah, one of his few cutters today.
Yeah, but just throw a little bit of a wrinkle in a fastball count. That's something when talking with Steve Sparks, who does the radio analyst side, you know, he talks about the importance of just being able to take a couple of miles an hour off a pitch, especially the fastball and fastball counts. If I'm sitting on your 90-mile-an-hour fastball and you throw me 87, 88 with a little bit of a cut, you create a foul ball or maybe some weak contact off the barrel.
Runners will be off with this 3-2 pitch and 2 outs. Pitch number 100 in this game for Dallas. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string. Got him with the changeup. Keuchel ends the day, you would think, with 6 strikeouts and a 4-1 lead.
By Nolan Ryan Beef. Enjoy all the dollar hot dogs you can handle during tomorrow night's Astros Twins game. For tickets, visit astros.com/$dogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Dollar Dog Night on Justin Verlander night. It's a good combination as Alex Pregame will lead off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Pregame a home run and a walk today. Solo home run got the Astros on the board in the 1st inning. Misses that slider. It's 0-1. Bregman bunch. We're seeing more and more of those shirts. Alex up to 28 home runs. And a new home run celebration after this one. It was a little curling exhibition. 1-1 the count. Astros and Twins opening up a 3-game series. Astros with a 2.5 game lead in the AL West. Day game today, followed by night games on Tuesday and Wednesday. Sano makes the play. Gibson with 5 1/3 innings today has reached a career plateau. That's now 900 career innings for the 30-year-old Kyle Gibson. Third most on the Twins. Irvin Santana and Matt Belisle with over 900 innings, and now Gibson gets to 900 exactly. Facing Carlos Correa, who has grounded twice to Sano. Eleven of the 16 outs for Gibson have been on the ground today, and there's a strike to Correa. Carlos has been down in the count all 3 at bats today.
Since coming back from the DL, I really haven't seen him be aggressive on the fastball at all early in counts.
And it's almost like opposing pitchers are
They know it too.
challenging that notion.
Yep.
And he goes down swinging here. Gibson picks up a strikeout, his 3rd in the game. And there's 2 outs in the 6th. No player does more, presented by HEB, and no player has done more since the All-Star break than Tyler White, especially late in games. On this homestand alone, he is 4 for 5 with a double and 3 home runs and 8 RBIs in the 8th inning or later.
Well, you know as well as I do that the Shark is always lurking and just waiting for that right moment to go on the attack, and it seems like it's late when he is doing it. It's an easy way to remember your name if you start doing damage in the 8th inning plus, because usually it goes into account, especially on homestands, goes into some of those wins. He's been personally responsible for a couple of them now.
Yeah, he has been so clutch, especially late in games. Already has a hit in this game and 2 at bats.
Man, that's good. That's a batting average. That's not a slugging percentage with runners in scoring position there on 8th inning plus.
So you just hope he gets up in the 8th inning today.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Takes one outside for a ball. It's 2-1. He came on in this game, did not start, but he's getting his 3rd at bat. Marwin Gonzalez was in the initial starting lineup and played an inning. Some oblique soreness taking Marwin out of the game, and Tyler came on and played first base, moved Yuli into Marwin's spot at second base. Altuve had the day off today. Another ground ball. This went to the shortstop Polanco. And a 1-2-3 inning for Gibson. Gibson has retired 8 in a row, and we're through 6 in a 4-1 game.
Plus, get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. TK.
All right, Julia, 7th inning baseball. Astros leading 3-1. Dallas Keuchel's day is done. 6 innings of work for Keuchel, and he turns it over to Colin McHugh.
Last time Colin was out there was against the Anaheim Angels. Went a couple of innings, gave up a couple of runs on an Andrelton Simmons home run. Also had 3 strikeouts in that outing. 32 pitches in doing so. 46 appearances this season. A high strikeout number for Colin with 79.
Dallas gives up an unearned run in 6 innings of work. 5 hits and a couple of walks. Keuchel would strike out a half dozen today. And now turns it over to the bullpen for the final 3 outs. Max Kepler will lead things off. Kepler coming on as a pinch hitter for Johnny Field. Kepler not getting the start against the lefty Keuchel today. Kepler's numbers on the year. Big crowd today on this Labor Day afternoon contest. 39,559. Astros on this homestand have just been filling up Minute Maid Park. The smallest crowd they've had on this 10-game homestand is 30,371. Call third strike. Kepler goes down looking. McHugh picks up a strikeout. First batter he faces.
Good afternoon for Dallas here on this Labor Day weekend, putting in some really good labor for the Houston Astros, going 6 strong. That's 19 quality starts on the season out of 29 starts now for Dallas Keuchel. Scattering 5 hits, gave up 1 run, 6 strikeouts, and sitting right at the century mark as far as pitches in this ball game. A great outing by Dallas, continuing a good streak.
Dallas left with the lead last game and ended up with a no decision, but another opportunity today for Dallas to get back over 500 for the first time this year. Normally for Dallas that would not be a big accomplishment, but where he started this year would be huge. He was 1-5 and then 3-8 on the season. If the Astros hold this 4-1 lead and give him a win, he would be 11-10 on the year. McHugh ahead of Joe Mauer, 0-2. Mauer had 2 of the 5 hits against Dallas.
Trying to backdoor that breaking ball again. Almost did.
Swing and a miss. McHugh picks up back-to-back strikeouts as he gets Mauer swinging for out number 2.
We're going to name that Astro. It's brought to you by Nissan. If it's high, let it fly. National League wins leader, twin conclusion. Who is it? Joe Niekro. Had a couple of right answers out there from the fans watching the ball game on this Labor Day.
Here's Logan Forsythe, 2 outs and the base is cleared. Called strike. Colin McHugh coming in, filling up the strike zone. There's a couple of guys in the bullpen for AT HOU today that he would not mind giving a day off for. Astros coming off a 4-game series with the Angels. Used up their bullpen a little bit in that series. Had a 3-game series prior to that with the A's, and haven't had an off day since before they were in Anaheim on that previous road trip. That is a nice curveball for a strike at 22. Good numbers for that bullpen. Called third strike. What an inning for Colin McHugh. He strikes out Kepler, the pinch hitter, then gets Joe Mauer swinging and Logan Forsythe looking. McHugh strikes out the side in the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch time. Astros leading 4-1 on this Labor Day 2018. We're going to pause right now for God Bless America.
We ask that you please rise now and join us as we pause not only to honor our great nation, but to salute those who defend our freedom around the world every day. Please join Miss Monica Pasley for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Today's Chevy stroke hole. Can you tell I have orbit around? Woo! All right, assuming Justin Verlander is your #1 playoff starter, we wanted you to set the rest of the rotation for the Astros in the playoffs, and 52% goes Verlander, Cole, Morton. Cole and Keuchel being 2 and 3 come in second. TK?
All right, Julia. Interesting speculation talking about the postseason as we have 4 weeks to go in the regular season. The Astros leading this game 4-1. We head to the bottom half of the 7th inning with Yuli Gurriel leading off. Yuli sends one to right field where Max Kepler has stayed in the game and is now playing right. And he puts it away. Yuli hit a home run his last time up, out on one pitch here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Well, they're underway in Oakland. The Yankees, CC Sabathia against the A's, Trevor Cahill. And the Yankees have scored a run in the 1st inning against Cahill. 3-game series between the Yankees and the A's beginning today. The one nice thing during this race down the stretch for the Astros is they don't have any more games on the West Coast. So whether they are here at Minute Maid Park or back on the East Coast playing in Boston or Baltimore, Toronto, Detroit, the 4 cities they have remaining on the road schedule, they're going to post their score earlier than the A's. And that can put a little pressure on the Oakland A's.
Set the tone early.
Yeah, if you put up a number and you say, hey, here we go, we're 2.5 up, match the win. Obviously, it works in reverse if you go into the night and you've lost a game, and that can give the A's a possibility of gaining a game. But I think it's nice to have that ability to post a W early and let the A's try and see what they can do. Brian McCann bats with 1 out. You know, on that Stroh poll today, it's nice to have the Verlanders, Keuchels, and Mortons from last year's postseason available, and then all of a sudden you add Garrett Cole to the mix.
Yeah.
So now,
very nice.
I mean, the rotation is better this year than it was last year. I think you can fairly say that going into the postseason run right now, or going into the final month, you feel a little bit better about the bullpen than you did at this point last year. We're seeing some quality back in end of the game innings from Ryan Presley, Hector Rondon, Roberto Osuna, Colin McHugh. He's had a couple blips here and there, but for the most part, he has been outstanding on the season. Four strikeouts for Kyle Gibson, 2 outs in the 7th. Gibson now facing Evan Gattis, who has grounded out a couple of times. Evan getting his first start in a week. Tough to find him playing time with Tyler White as hot as he's been. No action in the Astros bullpen. Colin McHugh with the towel on his arm and towel around his neck will be out there for another inning of work. Damage done against Gibson today has been a couple of home runs by Bregman and Gurriel, and a couple of unearned runs scored with a potential double play ground ball that was mishandled by Jorge Polanco. That led to 2 runs in the 2nd inning, but he has been very good lately. He has retired 10 in a row. All 3rd strike, 11 straight for Gibson retired. We head to the 8th in a 4-1 game.
Jose is one of the best, honestly, in the league at how he respects umpires and talks to umpires. As he started to walk towards Altuve and escalate the argument, I took exception to that. I think in between innings like that, the simplest thing to do is walk away, and both parties, Jose's going to his position, Coop's got to worry about the warm-ups. Obviously, I said something from the dugout. He turned his attention to me and then kicked me out of the game. So I'm defending Altuve, you know, every inch of the way.
On to the 8th inning, and a called strike to Jorge Polanco. Colin McHugh in his 2nd inning of work. That was AJ responding to an ejection a couple of days ago. Tossed out of that game on August 31st when he was defending Jose Altuve. 3, 4, and 5 for the Twins. Polanco and Mitch Garver and Robbie Grossman. And defensively, we see
Cupid shuffle.
Jake in center. Springer over to right. Reddick over to left. Jake continues to come in defensively for the Astros. And a ball into center field. Jake can't make a play on this one. He falls in front of him for a base hit. Julia Morales with more on AJ.
You remember last week, Astros announcing a contract extension for AJ Hinch through 2022, and George Springer saying this: when someone has your back, that allows you to go play hard and take chances and not to worry about the other stuff. I will run through a wall for that guy any day. And we catch these two on camera a lot, and what you see is exactly what it is, the fun banner, the inside jokes. But that's not unique to just George, and you guys know it up in the booth. AJ really has just taken the time to build relationships and find out what kind of manager that each player needs, and it's why so many of those guys showed up to the press conference that day for the contract extension. Guys, you remember Jose Altuve, the story, that being one of the first guys that AJ called when he got the job, and he earned Altuve's respect very quickly. Altuve tells us all the time how much he loves AJ and the way he does things, and the communication, the constant communication that AJ has, not just with Altuve, but everyone. That open door policy you hear about a lot. It's really important and really what makes this team go.
Yeah, we saw some of that fun the guys were having behind AJ yesterday, and it's a combination of respect, and they know that they can have a good time with him. They respect him as a manager. They know he's the leader of this team, but at the same time, they don't mind having fun in that dugout either.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. It's the truth.
It's a great place to be with AJ in this group. It's a fun team. AJ about to move up on the all-time wins list. Harry the Hat Walker, 3rd all-time in wins. And AJ is closing in on that. He is currently tied with Harry Walker, 355 career wins. He's tied for 4th in all-time wins as Astros manager. 2-2 the count on Mitch Garver. McHugh struck out the side in the 7th inning, allowing an opening hit here to Polanco. Called 3rd strike. Breaking ball's been on point today. McHugh picking up another strikeout. 3 of the 4 have been called. There's Lance getting involved yesterday. Cal's pointing out the cameras.
Man, oh man, I've played for plenty of managers. You do that, get an earful after the game.
How about the fact that Keiko was throwing sunflower seeds on him to start that interview?
Yep.
AJ, during the course of that interview, threatened to start Dallas next Sunday and change the rotation just so he wouldn't be involved in any hijinks in the dugout.
AJ knows how to manipulate these personalities in that dugout, that's for sure.
Robbie Grossman's been on base a couple of times today. A walk, a double. He reached on an error his last time up. Led to that unearned run allowed by Dallas Keuchel. This one slicing to left. Reddick has moved from right to left and makes his first play out there. 2 away. Well, on a day where AJ wanted to give some guys in the bullpen a breather, it's nice to have a guy like Colin McHugh, who not only can be counted on in late situations with the lead, but also can go multiple innings for you. Because since Colin's been in the game, there has not been anybody warming up.
There's no need. Been effective. The fastball's been located nicely in that curveball. It's been really good for him too. Good job on that arm side with it.
And hitters are seeing that from the dugout, but they get up there and they can't make the adjustment. He has been able to break that curveball over. Backdoor curveball for lefties and starts it at the front hip for righties and breaks it over for a strike. Now he gets a swing and a miss. Ahead of the count, 0-2 on Sano.
And that wrinkle's been a little bit different. That curveball for Colin McHugh over the season averaging close to 76 miles an hour, but he's been throwing that slider, I guess it is, at 81. Usually he's averaging 80 miles an hour on that slider. But it's got a little more tilt to it, kind of giving that illusion of being a breaking ball.
Shows the fastball upstairs. It's 1-2. Sano driving in the only Twins run of the game with a single to right his last time up. Righties on the year against Colin have really struggled. He got Mitch Garver in this inning. Righties, in addition to that Garver strikeout, 16 for 121 on the season. That's a 132 batting average for right-hand hitters against Colin McHugh. Doesn't get the chase there from Sano, and now the count's full.
Colin's got options in this 3-2 count. Sliders looked good. Or he could try and sneak that fastball by him.
Trying to hold up. He goes around. McHugh picks up strikeout number 5 in 2 innings of shutout baseball. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Astros lead 4-1.
Hispanic Heritage Weekend, a Carlos Correa replica orange jersey, and more. Visit astros.com/promotions for tickets and a full list of events.
Bottom half of the 8th inning, Astros leading 4-1. Kyle Gibson went 7 innings for the Twins. He is now out of the game. And Paul Molitor has gone to his bullpen for the first time in this series. It will be the right-hander Matt McGill.
Plenty of arms out there in that bullpen for the Twins. Matt McGill, the first one, making 33 appearances now in the 2018 season. 48 innings pitched, only 46 strikeouts. His whip at 1.38. McGill has a fastball, changeup, curveball, and a slider. The fastball averaging 94.6 miles an hour.
The 28-year-old will face Josh Reddick in the top of the lineup. Reddick has flied out to center, flied out to left. Good outing for the right-hander Kyle Gibson today against the Astros. Only allowed 4 hits over 7 innings and retired the final 11 he faced. Gibson limited the walks today, just 1 walk allowed, struck out 5. A couple of solo home runs and a couple of unearned runs, 4 runs total, and 2 of them were earned, 2 unearned. Yuli has 1 of those 2 home runs. Astros have 2 righties warming up in the bullpen right now. Little Harris, I would imagine, would get into this game if the lead's extended, and Hector Rondon if it stays a safe situation. Astros' last hit was that home run by Yuli. Only 1 hit since the 2nd inning. Plummer mentioned a lot of arms to choose from in that bullpen with 11 of them. McGill getting the call here. After the game, Paul Molitor will announce who he will use as his opening pitcher tomorrow. We expect to see one of those other 10 arms used, and then a kid from Tomball right around the corner will get the majority of the innings after that. Cole Stewart expected to pitch beyond that opening pitcher tomorrow. Reddick sends one into left center field, and waiting for it is Robbie Grossman, and that is out number 1. League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. 20 home runs or more from the leadoff spot in 3 consecutive years. As a short list all time, and Springer joins the crew with a home run yesterday.
Some good numbers. Granderson, Sizemore, and Soriano were kind of those unique mixes of power and speed. George fits that mold also.
George on the DL for part of that stretch, but he had not hit a home run since August 5th, right before he went on the DL, until last night's game. Today 0 for 3 for George. Just missed a home run his first time up on the very first swing he took, slicing one down the right field line that was just foul but home run distance.
Grady Sizemore for me was one of those what if guys. What if he had just stayed healthy? I thought he was a great ball player.
He was, and it's a shame because he had that career cut short by all those injuries as George takes a 4-pitch walk. Well, Jaco getting it back. Jake came off the DL at the beginning of this month just a couple of days ago, but keeps coming in defensively, hasn't had a chance to get an AB. But if you go back to his last 19 starts with the Astros, he's been hitting .346 in those 19 starts with 4 home runs and an OPS over 1100.
I'm with you. He has looked very good since a couple of stints in AAA, working himself back in here. But it's just too bad that that start for Jake was so atrocious. Early on for Jake, it was terrible. Mainly the swing and miss. That's what TK's talking about. Those last 34 games, very nice.
He's such a weapon in the field. And he's been bringing some offense to the Astros as well here lately. Although this one's grounded towards short. Polanco will play to second. Forsythe has no chance at a double play. Two outs in the 8th. Sure if they would have gotten Jake either way, but once Polanco played that ball deeper on the infield, it gave them no chance.
Yeah, I think that ball was hit harder than Polanco thought. Had to change that angle a little bit.
Well, Jake have to be watched over there at first base. Alex Bregman, solo home run, a walk and a ground out. Bregman reaching at a career high 31 games, matching a mark he set earlier this season. 31 straight games on base.
Look back at that home run that Alex Bregman hit in his first AB. I could call that a hanging fastball out over the plate. Alex did miss it. And the antics ensue.
So it was Reddick and Marisnik were the sweepers. And then McCullers was kind of the curler. And then Alex,
rock thrower.
Alex was the rock.
People appreciate you saying that.
And we caught a glimpse in between innings of Jake and Alex working on some future moves. There's an Olympics theme today.
It seems that way.
But we may see some creativity as the season goes along. The stare has developed into a team-wide party over there in the dugout. Jake on the move. The pitch is down and away, and Jake is safe. Ball into center field. Jake finally sees it. Cade comes up throwing, and Jake is safe. Ball gets away again, but it stays in play. Oh, that was so close to a run being scored. If that ball did not hit the railing and scooted into the dugout, Jake would have had himself a run.
That would have been awesome, but Jake's wheels create so many issues for defenses. At first, I didn't think that was a smart move by Jake forcing the issue because he recognizes so late. But it forced Cade to come up throwing and ends up short hopping Sano and gets past him. We almost lost Gary Pettis.
We did. Jake picking up his 5th steal of the year. Also an error charge to Garver on the throw. Two and 1 the count to Alex. Alex last year with 19 home runs, 71 runs batted in, and 39 doubles. He surpassed those totals this year all the way around. Line drive caught by Polanco to end the inning. Hit well by Alex, but at the Twins shortstop, it is 4-1 heading to the ninth. Let's go places. From Minute Maid Park on a Labor Day Monday afternoon, Todd Callis, Jeff Lum, Julian Morales, glad he could join us. The Astros lead this game 4-1, and Hector Rondon on for the final 3 outs.
Osuna pitching the last couple of games. Is now Rondon's to come out here and try and get this save against the Minnesota Twins. He has 14 out of 19. The saves and saves opportunity, 58 strikeouts, 218 walks for Hector Rondon.
They'll have the bottom third of the order due up. Jake Cave, Tyler Austin, and Max Kepler. As the Astros led early in this game, 1-0 after 1, 3-0 after 2, 4-0 after 4. The Twins got an unearned run back in the 6th inning. Colin McHugh very good for 2 innings of work, allowed a single to Jorge Polanco, but struck out 5 of the 7 batters he faced. Cave 0 for 3 today, struck out twice against Dallas Keuchel. A's came back to score 3 runs in the bottom half of the 1st inning against CC Sabathia, so it's 3-1 Oakland against the Yankees after 1. Oh, right back at Rondon. He goes down, and Cave is going to be saved.
I'm glad he's getting up.
Hit hard and off the Astros reliever.
Whoa. Catch that right wrist. .109.6 off the bat. Mentioned earlier in the game, some of these guys in that bullpen beat up a little bit for the manager AT HOU, pitching a little more frequently than they did in the first 3 months of the season. But catching that right hand or that right wrist is not good for Hector Rondon.
No, you don't want to mess with that pitching arm. Now Behringer, assistant athletic trainer, will help him off the field, and Rondon will leave the game. We'll see who A.J. Hinch chooses to come in for Rondon in this save situation. Obviously, it's been used 2 of the last 3 days. This would be against his former team if it is him. Will Harris had warmed up last inning. It's going to be Will Harris who will take over here. So Will be the new pitcher. 9th inning, a runner on, nobody out, and we'll be back after this.
iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsNet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet and their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
Well, we mentioned AJ wanted to stay away from a couple of guys in that bullpen who have been used extensively, so an opportunity for somebody who does not have a save on the year to pick up a save today. Will Harris pitches here. Tony Sipp begins to warm up in the Astros bullpen, and Harris will face Tyler Austin.
Will pitched on the 30th against the Angels, went an inning and 2/3, gave up a couple of hits, struck out a couple of hitters, nothing else. Threw 21 pitches in doing so.
Tyler Austin, a right-hand hitter, due up. He is 0 for 3. Then you have a couple of left-hand hitters in Max Kepler and Joe Mauer. So Will may be here just to face one batter, although AJ doesn't mind him against lefties either. Swinging a foul back to the screen.
That bullpen got active real quick, even with Will Harris getting loose relatively quick on the mound. Looks like Tony Sipp and Brad Peacock out there just in case to back up Will Harris.
Will had a couple of saves last year for the Astros, a dozen the year before. Astros have had saves this year from Hector Rondon, Roberto Osuna, Chris Davinsky, Brad Peacock, and Ken Giles. Hector Rondon having to leave the game after taking a line drive up near the right wrist, the pitching wrist area, maybe on the forearm. Jake Cave hit one 109.6 miles an hour. He's on first base with a single. Nobody out of the ninth in this 4-1 game. Yankees have come back to tie it up on the A's. They are 3-3 in the second inning. Trevor Cahill has been so good at home this year, allowing 3 runs in his first couple of innings in Oakland. Ahead 0-2, the count's now full.
Good time for a ground ball.
AJ would like to stay away from Roberto Osuna and Ryan Presley today. He really wanted Hector Rondon to pick up that save, but plans change after that line drive. 3-2 pitch in the air to right field. Springer is there. George puts it away for the first out. I'll bring up Max Kepler. Will stay in there here with a lefty Kepler. Coming into this season, Will had a career batting average against facing lefties of 194. Lefties done a little better against him this year. Hitting him at a 272 clip this season.
Not a bad pitch. Cave over there at first base. He's now playing in his 67th game. He's only stolen 1 base. It's 1 more than ex-Astro Jason Castro. At least in this 2018 season. But you figure this combination with McCann and Harris, he might be trying to take an opportunity to run himself into scoring position and out of a double play possibility.
3-0 the count. There's a strike. Sip continues to warm up. If Will does not get this batter, I would think AJ will go to Sip for Joe Mauer. And he does lose Kepler on the walk. AJ is going to stick with Will Harris here. Well, Mauer will bat as the tying run in this 4-1 game, 1 out of the 9th. Tony Sip now has sat down. His spot came through the lineup, and they're going to stick with Harris. The other thing with Tony is he's been used 2 games in a row and 4 of the last 5. Mauer 2 hits and 4 at bats.
Nicely done by Will to get ahead in this count.
He got him. Harris strikes out Mauer. Big strikeout there. 2 outs in the inning. AJ let Will face the lefties. Now he's going back to the bullpen.
A couple of backdoor cutters and then the big curveball from Will Harris to get a big strike out of Joe Mauer.
So Harris faces 3 batters with Logan Forsythe 2 up. AJ goes back to his bullpen. Brad Peacock will come on and try and get the final out of this game when we come back. Hit by a line drive, the only batter he faced. Will Harris getting 2 outs and walking a batter of the 3 batters he faced, and now it's Brad Peacock.
Brad pitched on September 1st, made that 53rd appearance. He has 59 innings on the season, 88 strikeouts, working that whip number back down to 1, doing a very good job. Fastball slider combination. We've seen him go to that fastball late in counts and kind of freeze some hitters who are looking for that slider.
Peacock with a couple of saves on the season. Looking for a 1-out save here with 2 runners on and 2 outs in the 9th. Logan Forsythe is 0 for 3 with a walk today. Two and 0. Brad Peacock's first major league save came in the World Series in Game 3. Picked up a couple of saves in the regular season this year. There's a strike. Forsythe facing Peacock for the first time. And there's a base hit into right field. This will load the bases. Springer gets the ball back in. The Twins have the bases filled with 2 outs in the 9th. Peacock will face Jorge Polanco. Polanco started the game as a right-hand hitter. He's been much better as a lefty hitter this year, batting .317, coming in left-handed. Astros outfield playing very deep with the tying run on first base. All 3 runners on base, the responsibility of a different pitcher. Cave on third base is Rondon's runner. Kepler on second base is Harris. And Logan Forsythe on first base is Peacock's responsibility. Picks up a strike, 1 and 2.
Location a little bit of an issue for Brad Peacock, but he gets the call. I give a lot of credit to Brian McCann. It catches a lot of the play, but Brian McCann, in holding that body still and just reaching with the glove, kind of gave Laz Diaz an extra look at it to make sure it was a strike.
Well, 39,559 on this Labor Day afternoon, looking for the final strike tonight. Rip foul.
Brad Peacock just sped up the bat of Polanco. Does he try and bury another fastball in there, or does he try and backdoor that slider? Now, the only reason I might question that pitch is because he just turned on a fastball, so he's covering the inside quarter pretty good for me. And throwing something that is hittable down and in, probably not the best idea. I wonder if Brian McCann wanted that one located a little more down and in, get to that back leg and get the swing over the top, because that was a dangerous pitch right there.
Three relievers, 28 combined pitches in this inning. Swing and a miss. Astros win 4-1. Brad Peacock picks up his third save of the season. Dallas Keuchel over 500 for the first time this year. He's now 11-10. And the Astros have won 3 in a row. And for the time have increased their lead in the AL West to 3 games. Good start to this series against the Twins. We'll have more coming up with the post-game show right around the corner.